Stan, the annuity man, at a whole nother level, America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states, and that does include yours, by the way. I would encourage you to go to theannuityman.com, but I digress. Let's talk about the books real quick. Let's get them out of the way. You can go to my site, get them for free. I'll ship them to you in a goal-full mailer, bubble mailer thing. That's fantastic. Let's talk about why you're here, which is retirement income planning and if annuities fit, how they fit, do they fit, should they fit, would they fit, might they fit, are they a fit? Let's find out. I understand annuities are like the hated word. I get that. So the question is, why are you staying the annuity man? No one plans to be this. I'm just out here selling contractual guarantees. I think they have their place, but they're not for everybody. So in the retirement income world or retirement planning world, the question is, do you need an annuity? And my answer is no. Not everybody needs an annuity. Some people do. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. The 4 primary things that annuities solve for is an easy to understand acronym called P.I.L.L. Let me draw that out. Hold on 1 second. So retirement income strategies. What do you even need an annuity? Let's go through it. P stands for principal protection. I stands for income for life. L stands for legacy, and the other L stands for long-term care, confinement care. If you don't need one or more of those contractually solved for, you don't need an annuity. The other 2 things that you need to ask yourself is, what do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? Now, from those 2 questions, let's look at retirement income planning and how annuities fit. All right, so we're going to go over the 2 questions again. What do you want the money to contractually do? And when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? Key word here, everybody, is contractual. Annuities are contracts. I always say you own an annuity for what it will do, not what it might do. Will do is the contractual guarantees of the policy. Might do is the hypothetical, theoretical, projected, back-tested, nonsense, hopeful agent return scenario, pie in the sky, better than sliced bread crap that you're going to be pitched. So we're going to buy the will do. Correct? Nod your head, producer. We are, because annuities are contract. You don't believe it? Buy one, you're going to get a contract in the mail. Whole nother level, right? All right, so contractually do. What do you want the money to contractually do? Let's go through some scenarios and what the product would be. Contractual will do. I want income, okay? And I want income to start now. What is that product for income planning? That's a single premium immediate annuity. That's what that is, period. Let's do it again. I want income, I want contractually, I want income, and I want it to start in 10 years. So 10 years from now. Well, what's the product? The product could be a deferred income annuity. It could be an income rider. In a traditional IRA, it could be a QLAC, a qualified longevity annuity contract. But these are the conversations that me and you are going to have. Now, when you contact us at theannuityman.com, you're not going to get some underling, okay? You're probably going to get me. It's my company. I stand behind it. I stand behind every single recommendation. So you're going to talk to me, and we're going to have this conversation. I'm going to ask you these questions, and you're going to be specific about those, and I'm going to point you to where we need to go from the standpoint of the product, not a carrier or not a specific product, but the strategy. So based on these 2 questions, I can say, okay, if you need income 10 years from now and we're using a non-qualified account, non-IRA account, then we're going to quote deferred income annuities and income riders. Or if you say, you know what, I need income to start right now and I'm not sure whether to use an IRA or Roth IRA or non-IRA, then I'll quote that in all of those. The other thing you're going to have to tell me is, what do you want the beneficiaries to have? Do you want them to have any of the unused money when you pass away? If you do, we can structure that so that 100% of any of the unused money goes to your beneficiaries. It's customizable, so just remember that. When you're talking about retirement income planning using annuities, it's customizable. So here's another way annuities fit in retirement income planning, okay? You might be out there and saying, Stan, I have this lump sum. Okay, so here's the lump sum. Let's just say it's $200,000. I'm thinking about quoting $200,000 using these 2 questions. What do I want the money to contractually do? And when do I want those contractual guarantees to start? Or you might say a monthly amount. You might say, you know what? I'm not sure how much money I want to put in, but me and the spouse, me and the wife, me and the partner need, $2,000 a month, okay? So this is how you quote for retirement income needs. You quote either saying, okay, I've earmarked this $200,000. How much income would that provide based upon the specific quote parameters, single life, joint life, whatever you provide to us? Or how much money would it take to create $2,000 a month for the rest of my life or the rest of my life and my spouse's life? Either way, these are contractual guarantees amount. Either way, these are a commodity quote. Either way, we're going to shop all carriers and understand that it's a fluid market. Rates change and guarantees change every 7 to 10 days unless you lock them in during the application process. So you can't just get the quote from us and say, you know what, I'm just going to think about it. I had a call the other day from a guy that 3 months ago we gave him a quote, and he calls 3 months later and says, I want to do that quote you sent me. Well, obviously we have those things on the quote that says, this quote's only good for 7 to 10. He didn't read that, and he was upset. He goes, no, this is the number. I did my research. It took me this long to do my research. Listen, I understand that, but it's a fluid world. There is no one single perfect company, carrier, product, strategy. It all comes down to what you're trying to contractually achieve, and then we will quote it based upon what you tell us. One last key point. When you're talking about annuities and how they fit in a retirement income plan or retirement plan, you need to look at the overall income floor of what you have. And that could be, I'm not going to write it out, but let's just say it's Social Security is part of it, your pension if you have one's part of it, RMDs on your traditional IRA is a part of it if you're at 72. All of that's guaranteed income coming in. So what is that total amount of money, and then what's the gap that you need filled? If you don't need a gap filled, you probably don't need an income annuity right now. You might want to look at one for the future if there's future inflation, but that's the starting point from the standpoint of just doing inventory on what's coming into your bank account, what you need to come into your bank account, and if there's a gap, how to fill it. And again, like in the last example I showed you, we can quote for a specific monthly dollar amount and find out who is offering that guarantee using the least amount of money. Make sense? Okay. The other thing, remember, just to drive this home, all income products, all annuity products providing lifetime income is primarily based pricing on your life expectancy at the time you take the payment, life expectancies if joint, and also the payment is a return of principal plus interest. And if you get to zero, it doesn't matter, because that's the true benefit proposition of annuities, because annuity companies are on the hook to pay regardless of how long you live. That's the monopoly that the annuity industry has. For some unknown reason, they're not pounding it into the table. It's one of the biggest marketing blunders of all time that business schools will be studying why they didn't do that. Maybe in the future I'll be annuities are, and I will institute that so that lifetime income equals annuities every single time you think about it. So with retirement income planning, you need to make sure that you are solving for a specific goal, and if you don't need income right now, you probably don't need an annuity. And when I say you probably don't need an annuity if you don't need income now, that's for people that are trying to solve a specific goal. However, there are income later needs that if you want to plan for the future, it might make sense to put a deferred income annuity or income rider or a QLAC in place so that you have money coming in at a future date. Again, it's customizable and it's what you need it to be for your situation. Okay, I've done another video called The Best Way to Use Annuities for Retirement, which kind of coincides with what we've done here, which is good. So go to my site at theannuityman.com. Let us run quotes for you on our proprietary annuity calculators, and make sure you subscribe to this great channel of annuity stuff, Stan the Annuity Man YouTube channel, because I put these out every single day, Monday through Friday, and I'll see you on the next video.